Hi everybody, it's Dave with Legion Canines Training in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've got 1-year-old pit bull Sasha with me. She's doing a 17-day boarding train. She just got here today. Introduced her to the pack, let them pretty much settle in all day, let them play. She's doing fantastic. Just started introducing a little bit of go to your place today, and she kind of picked up on it really well. We only probably did about maybe 90 seconds of it. So I thought I'd pull the camera out real quick and just show you guys some things we're doing. So teaching a dog go to your place, I start off with a raised dog bed, and that is so the dog is very aware when they step up on something versus a flat mat or something. So it just helps build the behavior to be a little more solid. I'm going to be using clicker training. For those of you that are aware of that, or marker training. I'm not going to explain clicker training in this video, but basically clicker marker training is I want to mark the behavior that I'm looking for in the dog. So the dog knows that at that exact precise moment they did something correct. Okay, you're going to see me using a combination of body positioning lures, food lures, cueing the dog to get on the mat. Some people don't want to do this. They want to sit here and wait and wait and wait for the dog to eventually get on its own, then mark that behavior. That's also fantastic training. The problem with it is it may take a few minutes, it may take a half hour, it may take an hour. So to speed some things up, generally I do kind of cue the dogs to get on the mat or the bed here, just to get things speeding up a little bit. But ideally you want them to try to figure it out as much on their own as possible. I'm going to be doing it off leash. Without a leash, you can use a leash. Just make sure that you have something that motivates your dog, something that's rewarding. Do this in a low distracted environment when you're starting out. And make sure that, you know, it's our job as the handler to keep the dog engaged. So if the dog is starting to get bored, maybe you want to take a break for a while or stop and play with the dog, get it kind of worked up. And when you see that dog step up on that bed, make sure you mark with enthusiasm, treat, toys, whatever you're doing so the dog knows they did a good job. So I'll call Sasha in here. Sasha! Sasha! Come here. Here she comes. So we'll see what she does here. Good girl. Good girl. She's not a super energetic dog. She's pretty calm. But like I said, I've only done this for about 90 seconds. And she just kind of took to it really, really well. Just when she first got here, the beds were outside and she just kept getting on them. So, and this is something that the owner has not worked with her on. So I'm just going to lead her away from the bed. Come here, Sasha. Come here. Good girl. I'm going to wait for her. Yes, good girl. As soon as she takes that step on it, I click, reward, and then the treat's coming. Good girl, Sasha. Good girl. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. So here I use a little, yes, good girl. So she's picked up really quickly that I want her on the bed. A lot of dogs will not pick it up this quickly. You may need to actually kind of lure them with a treat over the bed. Maybe, good girl, yes. Maybe even put them on leash and kind of assist them up there. Oh, careful girl, good girl. Good girl. But whatever you need to do to kind of assist to get the process going. Sasha, like I said, she's kind of a natural at this. Come here, baby girl, come here. Good girl. So I'm going to wait her out. Yes, good girl. Notice I'm not using any cue words or anything. I'm not using place. I'm just kind of luring her off the bed with my body position. Come here, good girl. Yeah, good girl. Once she has this down pretty solid, she knows I want her on the bed about 80% of the time. Yes, good girl. You know, when we're near the bed and she's going to it about 80% of the time, I'm going to start to use a cue word, place, so she starts to do it on cue. Okay? She likes her bed. Good girl, Sasha. Good girl. Sasha, come here. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Ah, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. And as the training goes on, we're going to start to, of course, teach her to hold this position here until she's released with a cue word. And we're going to slowly introduce distractions. So eventually I will be doing this outside. And I'll start to position myself further away from the bed. I'll start to introduce my pet dogs, the other board and trained dog, Jenny, and we'll start to slowly introduce these distractions, because ultimately what we want is a dog that remains in place until it's released. So when guests come over, or we're cooking in the kitchen, we want the dog out of our way in a safe place. they know to stay there and remain safe. So Sasha did a great job. Good girl. Come here, Sasha. Good girl. Always end your training sessions on a positive note. Make sure the dog knows they did a really good job. Keep it fun for the dog. And until next time, good girl. Good girl, Sasha. Thanks, guys.